Hello, everyone. This is your host, Kristen Howe, and I would like to welcome you to our call with today's guest, Elma Meyer. Elma had no intention of becoming a healer, but after years of chronic Lyme disease and trying all kinds of treatments, she discovered a miraculously simple way to activate her own self-healing ability with amazing results. She has now taught more than 30,000 people to do their own instant healing and founded Now Healing to give you down-to-earth techniques for effortless transformation. People from all walks of life use Elma's Now Healing techniques to get profound, fast results for themselves, their patients, pets, and loved ones. Elma is also a certified practitioner of the Yuan method of Chinese energetics, a certified matrix practitioner, and has trained in access consciousness, theta healing, and Oren Duben's Awakening Your Light Body. And on today's call with Elma, you will discover what energetic detox is and how it can help you. You'll find out how to quickly determine your individual detox needs. You'll discover a simple instant healing technique to activate your inner healing power, and you'll find out how to use this extraordinary Now Healing technique in all the areas of your life. And also, and this is really cool, Elma will take us through a guided healing session to help us address what currently troubles us. So I can't wait for this. I'm so excited. Elma, thank you so much for joining us today. Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Thank you so much, Kristen. I am really, really glad to be here today. I love your work, and I am really happy to now be part of it.
And I love your work too, which is why I'm so excited to have you on and share you with everyone. What I'd love to do to begin the sharing process is have you share with us a little bit of your story and, so any of the turnarounds that you perhaps experienced or, where you went from not manifesting what you wanted to manifesting a life that you're now, excited about. Any of that insight is really, really helpful to us.
Great. Well, the thing that got me into being able to work with energy to manifest health, healing, and all kinds of other things is, of course, like many other people, many other healers, I got sick. I got sick with Lyme disease. I went to Lyme, Connecticut, and I got a tick bite, and, I was really, really afraid of Lyme disease, and lo and behold, I manifested Lyme disease. So that was kind of a funny, ha-ha situation, but I do have to thank the disease, thank the problem, thank the pattern, because without it, I don't think I would have become a healer, and I wouldn't have learned a whole lot of stuff. I would have just been going on in my, sort of half-conscious life. So getting the tick bite, being laid low with Lyme disease was the thing that turned me into a healer. And I didn't realize that I had manifested it until a little bit later when I went, wow, all that fear, all those newspaper articles I would read morbidly fascinated about Lyme disease. Hey, I was just manifesting that. So I decided that manifesting the stuff that I don't want was not a great idea. So now manifesting the stuff that I do want, manifesting even more than what I want, wholeness is really my purpose, and teaching others to do it is really my passion and purpose.
I love that. And I love that, this came of you experiencing something. So it's not just like you woke up and went, oh, I think I'll do this. It came out of you, really needing it. And that's very powerful. So explain to me what energetic detox is.
Well, we all know that there are tons of physical toxins out there in the environment, from pollution to pesticides in our food to, smog in the air and mold. And I could go on and on with just the physical toxins alone. But wait, there's more. There are mental toxins. There's, traumatic memories from your past that are hanging out in your field, even if you're not aware of them, even if, we think we've dealt with them, they may still be functioning as toxins in our field, and they can still cause distortion. There are emotional toxins like, old grief or new anger at, the car that cut you off in traffic, or fear or whatever. And all those emotions hang out in your body. They hang out in your organs and your cells. but doing a detox cleanse of, cayenne and lemon juice or whatever is unlikely to get to those emotional layers or those mental layers. It may help your liver, and hence it will help your irritability and anger, because liver and anger are related. But the physical cleanse won't get to the root of the emotions. And then beyond the mental and emotional toxins, there are other people's thoughts and emotions that can sort of pollute your field. We often think that an unwanted emotion is ours. We think, well, if we're sad or upset or jealous, we think it's ours, but it may well be coming from others, from friends or family or ancestors even. So we have to look for ancestral toxins as well. And then there's electromagnetic pollution and microwave radiation and radiation from nuclear stuff. There's, toxins everywhere. There's toxins in your space, like negative feng shui energies and lots more. So given that there's just an unlimited supply of toxins out there, energetic detox is a way to detox everything on all levels: physical, mental, emotional, electromagnetic, psychic negative energy. So with energetic detox, we are using a very advanced form of so-called energy healing, and it's really information field healing. And we use this to access all levels of existence, rather than just doing a colon cleanse or a space clearing or a chakra cleanse. We can do it all with energetic detox. And I'm going to take you through a healing session in a little while where you will actually do that in a few minutes. So you'll get to experience energetic detox, because, I could talk about it all day, but until you actually experience it, it will just be words.
Right. That's a totally different thing. I agree. It's important for us to, conceptualize it first, but then I'm so thrilled that you were willing to have us experience it, with you on the call, because that's really that is the way to do it. And this group of people, which is an awesome group, they love to jump in and actually experience things. That's just the kind of people they are. So with detoxing, with energetic detox, first of all, what's the most important thing for us to detox? You just listed all of these different things that could be affecting us and toxic to us. So, what's the most important thing?
Well, if you listen to all the different experts out there, all talking about their opinion about what's the most important thing to detox, you will get very confused. And you can, tune into whatever the toxin of the moment is, and there'll be all kinds of media articles. All kinds of experts will be talking about it. And it could be anything. In the recent past, the fashionable toxin has maybe been mold, or wheat and gluten is another fashionable one, or electromagnetic fields, or the flu, or antibiotic resistant infections. So we can be sort of barraged by the media about this one specific thing that is the most important thing that's going to get you if you don't be careful. But it all depends who you listen to. What I want to give you is the ability to listen to yourself, your own body, mind, spirit, so that you can read your own energy field to know what's most important for you, because it might not coincide with the toxin of the day, the popular toxin of the day. And it might, and you'll be able to tell, and you'll be able to zap it all, because it changes. It changes from moment to moment, from person to person, from day to day. If you clear out one set of toxins, maybe in a few weeks, you'll need to clear out a whole different level of toxins. And as the seasons move along, as you move along in your time and space, different toxins will manifest themselves in your field. And it's really great to have sort of a single solution that you can use, because the toxin that's most important to detox is the one that is distorting your field the most at any given moment.
Wow. Okay. I like to bring this up, and everybody knows this, but when our energy field, when our health, anything like that has toxins in it, it affects everything. It affects our manifesting. It affects our relationships. Do you agree with that?
Absolutely. That is so true. We all know that everything is interconnected, but it's not just about knowing it. It actually is a tangled web of interconnection out there. And if you are wanting to manifest something in your life that doesn't seem to be at all related to toxins, let's say, you want to manifest a change in a relationship with your child, for instance. I'm just, picking something up out of thin air. There may be toxins involved in that relationship, or toxins that are blocking you from manifesting the relationship that you want. They may even be physical toxins, because a relationship can be really entangled with physical toxins. It could be entangled with the energy of your home. It could be entangled with the energy of your ancestors, or a future event that might be toxic that you don't even know about. So everything influences everything else. So whatever you want to manifest, if you can just learn to scan your field and the field of the thing you want to manifest to identify whether there are any energetic toxins there, you're going to be able to manifest much more quickly and easily.
Yeah, I love that you're talking about it from this perspective, because I think people just, they forget about that. And so they focus on manifesting and getting into a good, energetic vibrational frequency and all of that. And you're absolutely right. When you have toxins in your energetic system, in your physical system, it's going to put a cap on how high you can get your vibration level, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. Your vibration is not just your energy field. It's not just your chakras and your auric field. It is your very cells. So if your cells are toxic, you're not going to be able to vibrate as high as if your cells are nice and clean and shiny. If your emotions are toxic, same thing. It's all a part of manifesting, and it's a part of just creating the life that you want, to be able to clear stuff out that is dragging you down, weighing you down, holding you down. And you won't know what it is until you actually look for it. So when you go to, manifest the new car or the new relationship, you want to scan your field for anything that is dragging that down, as opposed to only, doing your affirmations or doing your soul work. You also want to look for what you need to clear.
Yeah, okay, so that's perfect. And I love that you just said that. So how do we do that? Because I would imagine it's, there might be some through lines, but I would imagine it's different for everyone, as well as I would imagine at different times in our life, it's different, the toxins that we need to detox are different for us. So you say that we're able to quickly determine our individual detox needs. What are some of the ways that we can do that?
What we do is we scan the entire universe, basically, to find where the most toxic bit of information is for you at this moment. And it can be anything. So we don't have any preconceived notions of where it's going to be. We don't necessarily start with the body. We don't necessarily start with the soul. We go where the biggest disconnect is. And I will show you how to do that. So it's really about sort of blanking your slate, getting to center, to a neutral, non-attached space, and then just observing what happens when you ask the question, show me what to detox. So I'll take you through that, but it's about blankness, neutrality, non-attachment, and centeredness as a place to start. And that's a very easy place to get into with just a few little tools that I will show you.
Very cool. Okay, so with your actual Now Healing, is it something that, once we start this process, does this take a really long time? Does it depend on, how many toxins we have within us? Or, is it pretty quick?
It can be really, really quick. The energy shifts instantly, because energy shifts at the speed of light. We're talking about light and energy. So things can shift really, really quickly. because we're working with energy and not matter. So if you were working with matter, like doing a cleanse or doing a diet, then it would take time. But when you work with energy, you influence matter, but the influence is instant. And it may take the matter a little while to catch up, but sometimes it doesn't. Sometimes you'll get sort of, quote unquote, miraculous results that are beyond what, normal old school science and old school medicine tell us is possible. But if you think of it more as like a quantum effect or an instantaneous effect, things can happen really, really quickly. So what we need to do is let go of all our preconceived notions of what is possible or what is impossible. And the way to do that is a simple technique of going to your center. And that puts you in that sort of 0 point field of infinite possibility and non-attachment where anything is possible. And so we've seen a lot of instant effects. And the flip side of that coin is if you don't get instant effects, that's okay too. You have to be really non-attached to how long it takes, and how you perceive the results can color the results. So if you're sitting there twiddling your thumbs or energetic thumbs and going, when is this going to work? You are not aligned with the field of possibility of it working. Also, listening to other experts' advice about how long something will take. Like, for instance, if a doctor tells you, well, your condition is going to take 6 weeks to heal. You've sprained your ankle and you won't really be back on your feet for 6 weeks. You want to be very non-attached to that time frame. So you want to allow it to take no time at all. And you also want to be okay with it never getting better, because that kind of neutrality, that kind of centeredness, paradoxically allows for change to happen much faster. So you want to be non-attached.
Well, yeah, and I think that's really important anyway. Now, let me ask you this. Is this, energy detox, is it like, okay, we do it now and then we're good? Or is it a daily practice? Or, how does that work? How do we assess when we need to do this?
That is a really interesting topic. And the answer is it depends on the thing that you're detoxing. Some things, when you do an energetic detox on them, they're fixed forever. The energy that you've shifted is fixed forever. You never need to reshift that bit of information again. However, new bits of information will show up. So with some things, the energetic detox, the results will last indefinitely and forever. With other things, it's sort of like taking a shower. You're not going to say to yourself, well, I took a shower today. That means I'm never, ever going to have to shower again.
I hope not.
Yeah, because, showers are great. So you want to take a shower. They're relaxing and they're fun. And doing these energetic detox techniques are great and fun, and they will have effects beyond just the immediate detox that you want. So, the bit of information that you're shifting stays shifted, but a new bit of information may come in tomorrow or next year that will also need to be cleared and cleansed. And just like in the shower, you've washed off that one bit of dirt forever, but you'll pick up another bit of dirt somewhere along the line.
Right. Okay. So it is inevitable, obviously. Now, let me ask you this. In terms of, absolutely, it's inevitable that, as we're talking about shower, because it's a perfect analogy, you're going to walk down the street, you're going to pick up some dirt. You can't avoid it. However, there are certain things that you can do to pick up less dirt than, let's say, if you were running around barefoot in the middle of the streets of New York or something. So do you have any recommendations to us, things that we can do, not to live out of fear of toxins? That's not the direction I'm going at all, but just to go, oh, okay, this is something that's going to help me not get as toxic as quickly.
Yes, absolutely. The most effective way to avoid having physical toxins, energetic toxins, and emotional toxins latch onto your field is to be non-attached to them energetically. So if you're thinking on a mental level, I must avoid toxins, I have to avoid toxins in my food, air, in my relationships, you are thinking about those toxins, therefore you are attracting them. So you want to be at center and you want to be strong and whole in the presence of toxins. So the thought of, a nuclear accident or a GMO food supply or, the electromagnetic radiation in your home, the thought of that, if it engenders fear or dread or throwing up your hands in denial and avoidance, any of that is going to serve to attract it. So the best way to not attract toxins is to be centered, neutral, and aligned with wholeness. And in Now Healing, that's the basic purpose of Now Healing, is to give you a pathway to be aligned with wholeness, aligned with your infinite self in the presence of good stuff, in the presence of bad stuff, in the presence of whatever. You are centered and whole. And, that's an ongoing process as well as it is present right now. So it's a paradox, as much of this work is. The more you fear something, the more you're going to attract it. The more centered and non-attached you are, the more it won't stick.
I love that. So it's almost like the negative attachment and focus itself is the greatest toxin, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. As an example, my example of attracting Lyme disease.
Lyme disease, exactly.
Or if people are afraid of cancer or afraid of, any situation or condition, losing a job, whatever, that is going to create pathways to that state. So you want to create pathways to much better state. And, you've heard for a long time, you've heard people say, focus on what you want, not what you don't want. And this is yet another example of that. But where you focus on what you want is from your center and from a non-attached place, allowing the universe to create form around you that is going to be for your highest good rather than, trying to control it. So that's where the center comes from.
Yeah, I love that. And I think it's so good that you said that, because it's almost like, at least, and correct me if I'm wrong here, but a lot of times we have in our energetic makeup this buildup of fear. It's almost like fear, and that's sort of how we'll get obsessed about, I don't want to attract cancer or Lyme disease or whatever. And it's almost like that thing becomes a buildup of toxins. So as we detox, as we energetically detox, will we also notice that attachment starts to relieve? Does that make sense? It's kind of a cyclical way of thinking, but do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely. It's very cyclical. Your thoughts about a thing and the thing itself are very entangled. And that's one of the things I show you how to do in energetic detox, is how to disentangle that circular, cyclical entanglement that happens out there. So, thinking your thought, having a more centered thought, is going to release that thought's effect in the world of physical matter, not just in the world of mind.
I love that. And what's the best way to ask this? Can we get specific with it? I guess is the best thing. So, if it's like, well, this is great and I'd love to energetically be, really highly charged and all of that, can this also apply to and we talked a little bit about this, but I want to get into it a little more, to our relationships and to our finances? Is it just primarily a physical thing and then those things are an afterthought and a positive after effect, or can we focus it for the benefit of those areas?
You can definitely focus it for the benefit of those areas just by the way you frame the question of, what am I going to detox today? And say I was experiencing a financial issue, I would take the energy field of my finances and I would ask, where's the toxin? Where's the most important toxin around the energy field of my finances? And then you would scan reality and find that energetic toxin, and through a very quick, easy process, you would disentangle it and align it. And I'll show you how to do that. So you can get really specific. You can say, well, next week, I need to make $1,200 because I need to fly to New Mexico for a wedding. And so you can work with it really, really specifically and say, you can ask yourself, you can ask your infinite self, rather, show me the blockage or the toxin or the disconnect that is keeping me from making that $1,200 that I need next week. And conversely, you can just say, show me what to align in order to manifest that $1,200 that I need next week. But you can also get really, really general. You can do your whole finances, or you can do a specific financial desire. You can use this to detox your checking account or your bank account. You can scan the energy field of a specific account and notice where the disconnects are and then repair those disconnects. Same thing with a relationship. You can work with all your relationships. Maybe you're asking yourself, well, why do I always have this pattern in my relationship? So you can detox that whole pattern, or you can hone in on, well, I want to work on my relationship with my husband about what we do on Sunday afternoons. So you can get really, really specific. It just depends on the intention. You can, plug in any intention to energetic detox, and your infinite self will guide you where to go.
I love that. And I love that you can get that specific, because I think that's really helpful, and people that are able to really focus in on things. I would imagine, and correct me if I'm wrong though, so let's say you do get really specific about your checking account, right? And so you detox, you focus there. I still would imagine that residually it has positive benefit in other areas of your life. Am I right about that?
Absolutely. Yeah. When you detox one area, it has sort of a ripple effect out in your entire reality. And you won't necessarily know what those are on a conscious level, and you can't predict what they're going to be, but it will influence your whole existence to do a really specific detox.
Very cool. Okay. Now, can you, I have two kind of random questions. I'll ask them together. Can you do this with your home or like your office? And also, can you do this with pets?
Yes and yes. And I have a lot of material about how to do this with your home, how to scan for energetic disconnects or toxins in your home, and how to neutralize them energetically. And the same thing with an animal friend that you may have. So a lot of people use energetic detox for their animals. And everything that you want to affect has a field. So it doesn't matter whether it is a living thing, a home, your lawn, your mom, anything, yourself, your skin, it all has an energy field, or to be more exact, it has a morphic field. So what we're doing is we're looking at the morphic field, the energy field, the information field of the thing, no matter what it is, and we're scanning for what is disconnected from wholeness. And then when we find those disconnects, we just reconnect them. We align them with wholeness through a really simple command called align. It's the align command. So it doesn't matter whether it is your home, your dog, or your acne. It's all energy, and it can all be shifted pretty much identically.
Wow, I love that. Okay. So that's it's cool to realize that this can apply to everything within us, but also our environment and our pets. I mean, that's what an amazing thing to realize. Now, and this is where we get into that weird territory of you don't want to be trying to change and affect other people, but what about, if let's say you're dealing with people in the workplace and there's someone who is particularly toxic.
Yeah.
Just by cleaning up your toxic energy, or is there something that you can do? How does that work?
Yeah, you're right about both of those ways. You can clean up your own toxic energy, your own reactions to that other person, or you can actually work with the other person's field remotely. You can do a remote healing on them. And many of these energy healing systems, sort of the ones that are more old school that have been around for a while, tell you have to ask permission. In Now Healing, we kind of can bypass asking permission because all we're really doing is aligning the person with wholeness. And if we're not trying to manipulate them, we're not trying to take their lessons away or any of that kind of stuff. We are just, it's like sending somebody light. You don't necessarily have to ask permission to send somebody light or just to blast them with love from your heart. It's the same with this. If you want to ask permission, you can. But really, since everything is entangled and interconnected, who are you asking permission of? You might be, if you ask them verbal permission, well, may I work on you because you're a pain in the butt? Their inner child might say no, but you're not asking their infinite self. So make sure to ask their infinite self if you're going to be asking for permission. Or if you want to approach it in yet a third way, you could do an energetic detox on the workspace itself, on the space of the office, and clean out negative energy, unwanted energy from the space. And that too will have an effect. So it's important to be able to discern that you can look at this from many different angles. There's not one right way to do it. You can work on yourself, you can work on the other person, you can work on the space, and it will all be effective. The energy will ripple out, and more wholeness, more and more alignment with wholeness will happen. So it's not like, well, oh my gosh, I better do it right. I have to figure out the proper way to fix this situation. You can use any number of entry points or portals to the energy fields and work on them that way. And they will always have an effect. So no matter what you do, it will be effective. And if you don't see a result in real life, then choose a different angle and do some alignments from that other angle. If you work on yourself and you don't see enough results, work on the other person. If you don't see enough results, work on the field of the office. So really, it's sort of a fractal holographic universe where any part of the situation is related to the whole, and addressing a part will influence the whole.
I love that. To be honest, I love that you're like, hey, you can try this way, and if that doesn't work, you can try, it's like you give us plan B, built in. I love that.
There's always plan B. Plan B is very, very important because stuff is always shifting and moving and changing. Energy shifts from moment to moment. So if you have a prescribed way of doing it, you may be limiting yourself. So you want to be able to flow with the energy and observe that it has actually shifted. And that is not a hard thing to do. If I can do that, anybody can do that, because I'm basically, much less psychic and intuitive than most people out there. All of the people listening are probably much more psychic and intuitive than I was when I first started out. I was pretty much a clod, but just doing this work gets you more psychic and intuitive, and jumping right in and doing it will activate your ability to read energy and shift energy. So even if you think, well, I could never do that, I don't know what Elma's talking about there, I bet you can.
Wow, I love that. Okay, so, I think this would be a great time, and correct me if I'm wrong, but now that we've gotten a really good feel for this and a feel for all the different angles and all of the different things that can affect, if you feel like this is a good time to take us through the guided healing session, I think now we're ready to sort of get our feet wet, so to speak.
Let's get our feet wet. That sounds fantastic.
Perfect.
So we're going to go through a few minutes of fairly quick guided healing, guided energetic detox, as it were. And you're going to do much of this yourself. I'm going to be in the background guiding you and waving my hands around and doing energetic alignments for you, but you're going to be creating a lot of them yourself because this is a normal human ability that we all have. It doesn't take a great psychic or a great talent to do this. This is sensing energy. You already sense energy. You just want to be aware that you're doing it. So before we actually get started, let's get a before sense of how you feel in your body and in your mind right now. So let's take two measurements, a body measurement and a mind measurement. So tune into how you feel right now in your physical body. And let's say that feeling good is going to be on target. You're really close to feeling perfect, and that would be a 0. So we're doing this a slightly different way just to show you that you can turn these measurements around anytime you want and do it however you feel like. And 10 would be very, very distant from feeling good. So 0 would be perfect, no problem, 0 problem, and 10 would be feeling really, really bad physically. So find a number of how you feel in your body right now. And just remember that. Don't overthink it. Just the first number that comes into your awareness, and you might want to write that down, your body measurement number for how good you feel right now. And let's do the same thing for your mental and emotional state. So I'll call that the mind measurement. How's your mind? Is it perfectly centered at 0 with no problem? Or is it distorted and far away from its highest state at a 10 or somewhere in between? So get a measurement of that. How are you feeling mentally and emotionally right now? 0 is desired perfection. Good. So remember that number, remember your mind number or write it down, and remember your body number. Now we're going to let all that go and prepare to shift some energy and do some energetic detox. And to do that preparation, we're going to do what I talked about earlier. We're going to go to our center. We're going to get centered. And just doing this little technique alone can have huge effects. And it is a space that is not just your physical center. Your center is the vertical center of your body, but it's also the vertical center of your whole body, mind, spirit. And going to your center will create instant connection between your local everyday self to your infinite self. And it's super easy. So if you've never done this before, no worries. It doesn't matter if you're doing it right. It doesn't matter if you think you're not doing it right. Just do it anyway. Right now, become aware of the base of your spine. You can keep your eyes open or closed, whatever you like. And now move that awareness from the base of your spine quickly up in a straight line, up the center of your body and out the top of your head, connecting to your infinite self. Good. And you don't have to know how or why or what. You're just going to do it. Now, feel into your whole center all at once. Feel into the base of your spine and your whole vertical center where your chakras would align, and your spine is part of that center too. And notice how feeling into that center connects to the center of the earth. It connects to your central nervous system and your brain, and it connects to the center of your energy bodies and chakras and meridians. And it connects to the center of the universal mind and the universe itself. And at this center, you are the universal center. You are infinite self. You're not just your local personality self. You are expanded, and yet you are awake and aware. Your eyes can be open, and you are grounded and normal, and you can go about your daily normal activity in this state. You can walk, you can wash dishes, you can sing and dance, and yet you are expanded multidimensionally. So this is a really great state to be in no matter what you're doing. If you go to your center like this, for a few seconds every morning, just as you're waking up, or when you're feeling stressed, or when you want to perform at some task, it will bring in all your strength and all your ability, and it will bring in the entire power of your universal source. And that's available anytime you want it at your center. And it's normal. It's not some woo-woo mystical state. This is just a normal human ability that you have to go to your center. So that is how to prepare to work with energy. And you can do this very quickly. It took me a few minutes to get you there, but you can just say, go to center, and boom, you're there in 2 seconds. Now that you've done it a little slower. So now that you are centered, now that you are infinite self, let's have you do a healing detox on your body, your mind, your spirit, whatever you need. So what we're going to do is a little bit different from the way that you may have experienced this before if you've been with me before. Let's create a virtual screen in front of you, sort of like a computer screen. And this is called the Now Healing Workspace. It's where we put everything that we're working on just to sort of give you a place to focus. You don't have to do it this way, but it's fun and effective. So if you're a visual person, you can see this workspace screen in front of you with your mind's eye out there in front of you. If you're not a visual person, just feel it. Just know that it's there, sense it out there. Or you can even use the wall as a virtual projection screen if you want to have something more physical there, if you prefer. Just know that it's there. Your workspace screen is there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to put a representation of your energy field up on this workspace screen, and we're going to do that right now. And you can come from your center and say, now. Good. And again, you don't have to see that representation of you. Just command it. Just say, put a representation of me up on the workspace screen now so that I can do an energetic detox on it. Good. And don't allow your mind to go, well, how, why, what's going on? Just tell your mind to take a number and be quiet for a few minutes and let you work. So now I'm going to ask your infinite self to show you the most important thing that you need to detox right now to feel better in your body and mind. And you're not going to know what that is on a conscious level or on a mental level. You're just going to sense it on your workspace screen. It may just show up as a blob or a point or an area of that screen. So when something calls attention to itself on your workspace screen, that's it. It may be an image or a symbol, or it may be a place that feels sort of heavy or have a color of some kind. Find anything that shows up on your workspace screen, and what we're going to do is we're going to do an align command, and we're going to say, align it with wholeness now. And you can repeat that coming from your center. Just wave your hand at that screen and say, align that place with wholeness now. Good. Okay, now we're going to ask again, what else needs to be detoxed in order for my body, mind, spirit to feel good? And allow whatever shows up on your workspace screen to be the correct answer. It may be a dot or an area or an X that marks the spot, or it may be a word or an image. Whatever it is, accept it. And now come from your center and say, align it with wholeness now. Good. And what you're doing is you're aligning that blob or that area that shows up on your screen. You're aligning it with wholeness. You're aligning its energy to connect to wholeness. And that creates a huge cascade of energy shifts that your conscious mind is not aware of. And that's a good thing, because if you have to take the time to process it through your conscious mind, we could be here all day. We don't have that kind of time. We want to do this fast because we want to get to a lot more stuff to detox. So let's do that one more time, just because 3 times feels good. Ask your infinite self again, what else needs to detox in order for me to feel good right now? And whatever shows up on your screen, even if it's just a little shimmer of something, take it and say, align that with wholeness now. Good. Now we're going to turn it around a little bit, and we're going to ask a slightly different question. We're going to ask, what needs to disentangle in order for me to feel better now? And because things that are entangled can create blockages. So something might not even be a toxin, but if it's entangled with another thing, it's just creating lack of freedom and lack of flow and movement. So we're going to ask your infinite self to show you and put up on that workspace screen in front of you, what is the most important thing to disentangle right now? And whatever it is, even if you don't see or feel anything, just say, disentangle it now as you come from your center. Just feel your center and say, disentangle now. And let's just do that a few more times. Disentangle now, disentangle now, disentangle now. Good. Now what we're going to do, lots of stuff is shifting and changing that you may not be aware of consciously. What we're going to do now is ask to be shown what thoughts need to be disentangled in order for you to feel better now. What thoughts about toxins or detoxing? So if you have any sort of habitual thoughts that come up around detoxing, like, oh, I must be very toxic, or I'm not toxic at all because I just did a cleanse. Any kind of thought, whether it's good, bad, or ugly, we're going to disentangle from it now. And we're going to align it with wholeness now. And as I say the word now, go to your center. Feel your center. And let's do the same for emotions. Any emotions that you habitually have around toxins, a sense that you might be toxic, or a sense that you're not toxic, or a sense that you don't even want to think about whether you're toxic or not, whether it's fear or whether it is opinion or whether it feels like something that someone else has told you. Let's take all that, put it up on your Now Healing Workspace screen in front of you, and we're going to disentangle from that now. So let's get a little gauge of where you are. And we're not quite done, but I just want to get you back into your body and mind and notice where your body measurement is now and your mind measurement. How does your body feel? Is it closer to feeling 0, no problem, perfect? Or are you at the same number you were at before? And same with your mind. Notice where you are mentally and emotionally. How do you feel about your life, your situation right now? Do you feel closer to centered, non-attached, and flowing, or do you still feel distant and at a 10? Whatever it is fine. We're not looking for any specific change because we want to be non-attached to change, because paradoxically, you'll get a better result that way. So whatever your number is now, let's do an alignment on that. We're going to take your body measurement number and we're going to align it with 0 now. Come from your center and say, align with 0 now. Good. I feel lots of nice energy shifting there. Now take your mind measurement number. You can even find your number sort of on a, knob or on a fader, like on your stereo. And you can just turn that knob down to 0. Take your mind measurement, turn it down to 0 now as you come from your center. So align your mind with centeredness, 0 problem now. Good. Now take a nice full breath into your center, into your physical center, the center of your lungs, your heart, and breathe out whenever you feel like it. And just breathe in and out of your center, wiggle around a little bit, wave your spine from side to side. If no one's watching you, dance around in your chair a little and notice how you feel right at this moment. And things are shifting left, right, and center. Things are shifting like gangbusters right now, and things will continue to shift. I want to do one more quick thing. Let's take your thought of what you are most concerned about in terms of toxins. Just choose one thing. If you have more than one thing, just choose the one that is bothering you the most right now. What feels like it is the biggest problem for you in terms of toxins? Whether it's maybe something somebody told you, a doctor's diagnosis, something that your mom told you, something that you've researched or read about. Take the thing that is bothering you the most right now in terms of toxins and toxicity. And we're going to put it up on the workspace screen in front of you. We're going to get it out of your immediate field and put it on the screen in front of you. Good. And we're going to disentangle you from it now. So say, disentangle now. So that all the connections that you have to it are melting and deleting and leaving, clearing. Now we're going to take you and all the information about the thing that you were most concerned about, and we're going to align you with wholeness in its presence now, and we're going to align you with wholeness in its absence too. Because sometimes we have sort of secondary benefits like, well, if this problem leaves, then it'll create even bigger problems. So we want to be aligned, whether it's still there or whether it's gone. Align with wholeness now. Good. So breathe again into your center and notice how you feel. You may feel expanded. You may not necessarily feel anything yet. And either way is okay. You want to be allowing of whatever happens to happen. Know that your energy will continue to shift and stuff will continue to detox. And you can use this technique of going to your center and just disentangling from the toxin, saying the word now and coming from your center, and it will have big effects, whether you are aware of them consciously or not. And notice now what happens over the next few minutes, hours, or days. Just observe what changes in your life. Thank you for doing that with me. I felt some wonderful energy shifts, and it's a great tool to use just going to your center. So stay centered and notice what has shifted.
Yeah, I love that. First of all, that was so powerful. And even the emphasis you would give to now, it made it so that it's almost like your brain can't go, well, but there's a lot of power to it. And I did feel an expansiveness, starting to happen within me, which is exciting. Even more exciting, though, is what you're saying about how, and this will continue. It's not like it's just for this moment. So this continues to have residual effect over, what did you say, the next few days?
Yeah, and it depends on what specifically was being detoxed and disentangled and aligned. And the energy has already shifted, but you may continue to notice the effects rippling out over either instantaneously, like right now, or, some people notice it the next morning. So it will continue to work. And you also have the tool now so that if you want even more results, just go to your center and disentangle from toxins now.
Yeah, I love that. It's so exciting, and it's really powerful, and it's actually really simple, which I love. I love things that are not overcomplicated, and, it's very simple. So thank you so much for taking us through that and sharing that with us. That's really, really valuable, and we can, as you said, we get to use this. We now have this tool that you have given us, so thank you.
That's great. Thank you for doing it, because everyone who does this creates healing and wholeness, not just for themselves, but, it ripples out to everyone around you. So you're not just detoxing yourself, you're detoxing the planet as you do this.
Yeah, I love that. So let me ask you this, because, this is really powerful. This is definitely it's a different way. It's a different perspective than we have necessarily had on here before. And I'm loving it because it makes complete sense that there are going to be toxins built up in our systems physically, emotionally, energetically. So I just absolutely love this. And I'm a little bit like, how have I not known about this before? So this is a very cool thing. Can you share with us, maybe some of the turnarounds that people who have applied what you're teaching here, some of the turnarounds that they've experienced so we can see what's possible for us?
Absolutely. There's so many possible different outcomes. People with arthritis. I had one lady with arthritis. She had a diagnosis of arthritis and was stiff and sore. And she had no idea that energetic detoxing could help it. But she does the energetic detox sort of periodically when she feels herself sort of stiffening up again after a few weeks, she would do it again and find different things to clear, and is keeping her arthritis pain at really low levels, last I heard. So she's sort of doing it repeatedly, but keeping her knees and hips more fluid and flexible. So it works for arthritis. Someone wrote me recently about sleep. So they were working with energetic detox to sort of detox their mind from mental loops and mental chatter. And they have reported that they're sleeping better, they're less anxious during the day. So you never know the kinds of things that are toxic that could be causing all kinds of issues or patterns in your life that don't seem like they necessarily would come from toxins. And I've had a person tell me that she decluttered her whole house after she did the energetic detox program. Things that were in her garage for years, she just went on a mad rampage of decluttering. And so she was really happy with that. And it changed her health, it changed her relationships, just doing the decluttering, because of course everything is interrelated. So those are just a few examples. I've had examples from all across the spectrum. So whatever you think your issue is, more than likely it can be shifted, transformed, changed, and improved through energetic detox.
Very cool. I love that. And, it's obvious and it's true. As I said before, I'm like, how have we not even, been talking about this? How has this not been part of the conversation? So I'm so glad that you're here, because this is such an essential part to what people are doing and how we're manifesting, and our energy and our sleep, all of that stuff you just mentioned, that affects absolutely everything in how we're creating our lives. So I'm so excited to be able to share you. And, you did put together a special offer for everyone, which I'm really excited for people to look at. So you can just nice and easy click on that special offer button that is right there on this page, and you'll be taken right to it. And Elma, I'd love if you could let us know what we'll find there.
The energetic detox program on this special offer is sort of detox in a box. And you can use it at your own pace. It's a bunch of audios. It's 6 separate audios where I take you through guided healing sessions, but they're much more specific and they cover all different areas. So we go into more depth because you can get a lot done with just your general detox me now, please, and come from your center. That can be huge, but it can also be incredibly effective to drill down into the details. So we go through how to shift energy, how to do a preparation. So I give you a little mini crash course in how to do Now Healing on yourself, and you can use it on others too. And then in the second audio, we go through more specific detoxing of your physical body and your home energies and how to detox your energy field. And then we move on to even more specific body parts like your cells and how to deal with food sensitivities and how to work with your environment. We also work with clearing negative energy. Ancestral negative energy is huge. And so that is something that we're hardly ever aware of. And, we might call it DNA, but often the DNA is just sort of the receiver that receives ancestral energy. And we want to be able to clear out negative influences from ancestors and leave ourselves open to receive the positive support from ancestors, because that is really, really huge. And so we work with clearing out negative energy from ancestors, also psychic resonance. I didn't talk too much about psychic resonance, but that is a major, major thing that can cause you to pick up not just people's emotions, but people's diseases and illnesses and discomforts. So you can be in resonance with someone and manifest their issues on all levels. So that is a really good thing to know how to detox. And then we also work with detoxing your field, your energy field, your morphic field. And I explain a little bit more about what a morphic field is, because that's sort of the cutting edge of energy healing these days. It's not really about energy, it's about field effects. And this is a huge, huge new thing that not a whole lot of people are talking about. So when you're shifting so-called energy, it's not just energy, you're shifting morphic fields. Then getting back down to earth from that sort of woo-woo area, which is really fun, by the way. If you're interested on an intellectual level, you'll get some stuff that way too. But getting back down to earth, we talk about hypersensitivity to all kinds of environmental stuff, toxins and foods, and we take you through a process of clearing your hypersensitivity without clearing your necessary sensitivity, because it's a fine line. You want to be sensitive to energy and information, because then you can shift it and manifest your, highest expression much more easily. But if you're hypersensitive, you can shut down and not manifest what would be really wonderful to manifest for you. So that's kind of a quick overview from your cells to your organs to your fields to your ancestors. We cover it all. And if there's anything that we don't cover in this 6 audio set, I show you how to find it yourself, which is really ultimately the most important thing. And there's also, besides the audios, there's a transcript of the audios that you can follow along. In case you are a reader like I am and you like to have words in front of you, you can follow along with the transcript and run the checklists and do alignments on these checklists for yourself at any time.
Wow, that's awesome. Okay, so what I love about this is that you leave no stone unturned. So you're like, look, you're going to find everything in these 6 audios, and if not, I'm going to show you how to find it. So it's not like we're going to be left going, ooh, I wonder. So let me ask you this. When we start to work with what you have here, what are some of the things that we could expect to start experiencing right away?
It depends on what you are focusing on. So if you're focusing on, say, you want to, detox your skin, you might experience a really, really fast improvement in your skin. And you will also likely experience a lessening of being bothered by your skin on a mental and emotional level. So you will experience effects physically and mentally and emotionally. The range of stuff that you could possibly experience is really, really huge. So it's hard to say what specifically you're going to get, but it's important to note that you won't necessarily get what you expect. So you want to clear your expectations, because expectations can be limitations. And this is a really great life lesson, not just about detox. We show you a way to get centered in your expectations so that you allow more flow of connection and wholeness. So a lot of people say that they experience more lightness, a feeling of lightness and a feeling of less heaviness. That's sort of a standard thing that people report, a feeling of emotional lightness and physical lightness and more, tingly, light energy. So that's one thing that you could possibly experience that is really fun. Does that answer your question, Kristen? There's a huge range of stuff.
Absolutely. And what I love about it, though, is that, it is something where we'll start to experience something quickly. And then, I love that, the overtime thing. It's like it keeps going and keeps going and keeps going. So that's really exciting. And I just absolutely love what you've put together here for us. I think it's so powerful. And everyone, definitely, please go check this out, because removing toxins from our physical bodies, our mental bodies, our emotional bodies, our energy, it's so essential. Like I said, I can't believe I'm sitting here going, how have we not been talking about this? So definitely go check it out. We've made it really simple for you. Just click the special offer button that's on this page and you will go right there. This has been absolutely fantastic. It's been eye-opening, Elma. I'm so thrilled that we got you on here to share this with us, because like I said, it's just opened up all this other perspective that I wasn't even thinking of. So thank you for everything and for sharing that entire process with us. I mean, that was truly a gift. And I know that we all realize what a gift that was, and I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much, Kristen. It was a gift for me to be able to connect with you and to feel those wonderful energy shifts and clearing, cleansing, releasing that you have done here today. And feel free to use that going to your center and commanding align now or disentangle now, and you can even say detox now, and you will get great effects from it. And if you want to get deeper and more specific effects, I highly recommend the energetic detox program that I have for you. So thank you so much. It was lovely and a pleasure being in your fields today.
Absolutely. And it was so great having you here. And what I'd love to do, because, this is all about you and I just get to be here along the ride. So I'd love to ask you if there's anything, any sort of parting words that you want to send us off with.
I would love to do one more energetic alignment for you to really, really know and understand that you can shift your own energy towards wholeness. You don't have to wait for someone to do this to you. You have the instant, immediate power. You can plug into your power source at your center and create amazing, miraculous shifts for yourself right now. So let's just align with that right now. So that is rippling out into your conscious awareness that you have this power. And programs like Energetic Detox are there to give you a framework, but this power comes from your own internal plugging into your source. So I would be honored to help you and to guide you, but you are the one that ultimately has the power to do this, and it's easy and joyous. And let it be easy and joyous for you, and align with your highest energetic detox now.
I love it. Thank you so much, Elma. I hope we get to do this again. And everyone listening, you are extraordinary. This is such an awesome thing for me to get to do. It literally is a gift for me to get to share this time with you. So I thank you for that. And everyone, and Elma, until the next time, keep manifesting. Bye-bye, everyone.